Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this morning's edition of the Pizza and Saturday Morning Tip-Off Show here live from Pizza Inn in Greeneville. We're actually not live today. That's usually the tagline we use. I'm your host, Tyler, as always, here with co-host Mark Brooks, and here with a very, very special guest today, Dr. Lori Wilhoit from South Green High School. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm still getting used to calling you doctor now. How long has it been now since you got your doctorate?
Officially May of 22.
Okay, so it's not been quite a year yet, right?
It'll
It'd been a little over. It's
yeah,
been
a
a
little
year.
over a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've known you for I think 2 now, so it's kind of hard to get used to calling you doctor after not knowing you as doctor for the first little bit too.
Do you prefer doctor or just plain old Lori?
I prefer Lori.
Okay. Do you like being called doctor though, just because it's a lot of hard work?
It is a lot of hard work. Sometimes it's nice to have the respect. So
Yeah.
it was. I finished my doctorate for, of course, myself, but I lost both of my grandmothers since I've been principal, and that was one of my grandmother's goals. So there you go.
That's awesome.
Finished
Goal
it
met.
up. Yep. And it was good thing.
We have another coach within the county that's trying for his doctorate at the moment too, and I'm still trying to figure out what to call Coach Donahue when he gets his doctorate.
Doc.
Is he going to be Dr. Coach Donahue, Coach Dr. Donahue? What are we going to call him?
Kyle.
Because you got to give him the respect to
yeah.
call him doctor too.
Yeah.
But I call everybody coach. So
Well, it's like Lori.
gotta
We'll
mix
call
in
her
there.
Lori, but every now and then we'll throw that doctor in there just to give her that little
Yes.
hint of respect.
Yes,
Yeah.
Is that good with you?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
great. Matt Ripley just finished his too.
he did.
He did.
He did.
He did just finish
Former
his.
football coach at Chucky Doak High School. Congratulations to him too.
He did. So. Yeah.
Hope Matt's doing well. I haven't talked to Matt in a while.
He
was
is.
one of the better ones to do a coach show with at the beginning too.
Lots of fun.
So I think you were
Yeah.
brought on here to talk about basketball.
She was, but you know us. We get off on tangents. That always happens.
I know it.
Let's talk about basketball, and what a great conversation to have about South Green High School at the moment, because the boys are rolling, the girls are doing well, sitting at the top of the conference right now. I think after last night, they're 2-0, alone at number 1 in the conference.
And they've
South Green
never lost a conference
still have
game.
never lost one within the conference realignment. The boys sitting at 8-2 with huge quality wins over Dobbins Bennett and Crockett. Let's talk about South Green basketball in general. Dr. Wilhoit, how happy are you with the state of South Green basketball at the moment?
Very happy. It's always fun to win, but it's also really great to see the kids and the coaches working so hard in the gym. Putting the time in and day out, and they never slack. They practice every day. They practice hard, and that's fun. That's exciting to see. So very, very, very great time to be in South Green. So.
I know South Green Gym is always packed. It always has been. But with this resurgence, have you seen an uptick in ticket sales and concessions?
We have, which makes Coach Hosey really, really
Oh, I'm
happy.
sure.
We have. Last night there was standing room only. There literally was nowhere to.
Hampton, yeah.
Yes, there was nowhere to stand. The North Green game was packed. Some of you guys were there for that. It has been. I think the only game that there has not been packed is the Johnson County game, and man, that's just a long way to come for them.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have everybody. We try not to talk about COVID anymore, but it is so great to see people, squeezing in beside each other and standing up yelling. The student section's been on it, so it's been really great. It's been a great season so far.
Probably the best student section within the county too. You all always fill it up to the brim when it comes to student sections. The other one that really impresses me a lot, but you really can't tell the volume, is Chucky Doak, because their
gym's so big.
Exactly. You can't tell how big of a volume of student body they have just because they don't reach all the way to the top of the wall like South Green does. But one thing I wanted to talk about too is the volume of college offers that kids from your school have gotten.
No.
Because that's something that a lot of schools can't say that they get, and that's something that I've talked with Coach Hosey at the beginning of the year, that you've already had 2 athletes get looked at from colleges before they enter their senior year.
Yeah,
Also, the girls are very talented. You could see 1 or 2 of them potentially get college offers too. So how important is it to see those kids get college offers?
That's what we do. I mean, that's what we do. I say all the time, Rebels are ready, and we want them to be ready for the next level. But having a college coach come in and see your kids as 10th, 11th graders, it's crazy. I mean, it's exciting. It's inspiring for even the younger athletes that are in middle school, or there's booster ball going on all over today, to see them, that the hard work that they're putting in actually pay off. I think that's super, super important, and to see the kids actually feel like, oh, I'm from Greene County, but I'm getting all these looks and all these offers. It's great. I mean, we had Maley Hildenbrand signed yesterday in golf, literally 4 years full ride at Tusculum University,
awesome.
Housing, everything included. That doesn't happen.
No,
So,
that's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
And if they're giving free money away, take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cadence Mansell, I don't know how many offers she's up to now for
That's
track.
right.
Yeah, I mean, and even some volleyball offers. I mean, it's big time. I mean, it's big time. So we're excited about that. Although I hate to lose them. I hate when they leave me, but it's exciting.
Because I know for the boys right now, you have Cooper Kelly that's getting loose. You have T.J. Buckner getting loose. I don't know if any of the girls at the moment.
Woody got an
Woody's
offer.
getting
Yeah,
loose.
Woody,
Okay.
I've seen that.
That's awesome. And I know last year Jordan Roderick ended up signing to play, I think, 2 sports at Tusculum.
Yeah. Macy Snap is there.
Yes.
At Tusculum. I've got Kylie there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hunter Berkey's there. Yeah, we have.
You have a lot of athletes
We
that have
do.
signed the past few years.
Yeah.
I will say, out of all the signings I've done the past few years, South Green's one destination that I've always been called to a lot, because you've had a really good success at sending athletes to college the last couple of years.
Yeah, and that it helps when you're a good athlete and a good student, and those offers get bigger and bigger. So it's very exciting.
Mark, let's talk about South Green basketball a little bit.
Do it.
That a tough opponent last night.
Last night I didn't get to see that game, but Hampton is the defending state champions. They didn't get that title handed to them. They worked hard for it, and my hat's off to them. And it looks like they came out and did what they were supposed to do. Now, in South Green's defense, they were a little short-handed. I think Jace Roderick went down. I wasn't there, but Lori told me earlier that he had went down with an injury, and the kid's 6'5". He plays inside, he plays outside, he plays point. That's a big loss.
It is.
You're taking him off the court. That's a big loss.
And something that I talked about with Coach Sam Broyles from Chucky Doak, too, after Hampton lost that game Tuesday night, that could have potentially been a shell shock for them.
Yeah, it
Because
could have.
the only district games that they lost in 1A last year were the district championship and regional championship. They went on to win state after losing those
Right.
games. They lose their first game in 2A at Chucky Doak, and then they go into South Green. I think they felt a lot of pressure, because if you go behind 0-2 to the 2 teams that have played in the championship the 2 years of the new realignment, that's a scary situation.
Well, the good thing is, and I know South Green's team is looking at it this morning, and they don't see a good side to this.
Yeah.
I know that, but they get Hampton again.
They do.
If they can play Hampton again and win, then everything's even. All bets are off. We start over. That's all you got to do.
And I think those games kind
Nothing
of...
to it.
Yes, I think those games kind of prove, too, that anything's still possible this year, because if you would have told a lot of people that after seeing Chucky Doak's loss to University High, if you would have told them, hey, they're going to beat Hampton at home, but the way South Green's playing, Hampton's going to beat them at home, I don't know if a lot of people would have believed you in that sense, but that just goes to show that anything can happen within the conference.
And it might be a carousel this year, too.
It could. Everything's
Yeah.
been crazy so far, because we'll mention them here in a little bit also, because we've got 2 games to talk about with this team. But Happy Valley hadn't won a game the last 2 years within the conference. They get Coach Shane Williams last year. You can tell a bit of improvement.
You
They
can
stepped
see it.
into their first game this year, and they beat West Green.
Yeah.
So they've already got 1 win under their belt. I mean,
Yeah.
we might be in for
I'm
a
not saying they're
crazy
going
year within the boys.
they're going to contend for the title, but Shane Williams is going to have them playing like
He
they
is.
are. I seen that.
Press defenses, too, right out of the gate.
And look, last year, like you said, Hampton got beat in the district tournament. Went on to win the state. Now, South Green's loss is in the regular season. So they still got this tournament still to come. So,
They do.
so I think they'll contend for it. I just don't see a team that talented not being able to play every day.
Yeah.
They'll have a bad day, but I don't look for them to have bad days.
Yeah. And the 2 teams that they're going to have to potentially meet up with, we'll be talking about them in just a minute also when it comes regional tournament time. But let's talk about the South Green girls.
Again,
Still have never lost within the new...
what are you? Stephen Gregg's doing something right.
I feel like we need to stop talking about it at this point, because I feel like it's going
Right,
to come to
jinx
the
'em.
point we're going to jinx it. Because I had a terrible stretch of jinxing things within football season
Don't
this
be
year.
don't
So I
jinx.
need to stop. I have apologized to Coach Jones. I felt like I jinxed the football team.
Okay.
Because they had won 9 straight regular season games, so many straight at home, started out 6-0. Next game, They dropped one to Happy Valley.
He blamed me for that, though. You
Did
realize
he?
that?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't the one.
No,
blamed
I
for
got
that.
blamed. My son was so sick, and he said if he'd had his kicker, that we ended up in the hospital. I left
was
South
true.
Green, went to the hospital. So yeah, I got the. You're not the blame. I got the blame of that. So Sean's.
He wanted to play, though,
I was
right?
told
Oh
to
yeah,
try.
he pulled in with the trash. Yeah, he pulled in. He pulled
That's
in.
awesome,
He
though.
thought he was gonna fly. I was like, you can't hold your head up, but yeah. So you didn't get the blame. I got the blame. So it's fine.
How cool of a moment would that have been to see him on the sideline playing, but with the trash can the whole entire time?
No, it wouldn't have been good.
It would probably be a moment that when he's 35 he would love.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
everybody
we
would
won.
remember it.
Yeah.
Reminds
The
me of
trash can
Lindsay.
game.
Lindsay, you remember, I don't know if you remember or not, but Lindsay Cutshaw, Lindsay Norris now, she literally got an IV at halftime at state tournament one year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was so sick. They'd had her at the hospital. She was so sick. So that's, yeah, you gotta gut it out at South
Oh, yeah.
Green. Play,
Yeah.
gotta play. But Jace did hurt his hamstring earlier in the week, so he did not play last night.
He didn't play at all.
No,
Okay.
and
Well,
yeah.
that's a big loss.
Yes,
there.
maybe that explains the point.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even dress out.
And
so.
I think he's averaging 16 points a
Yes.
game,
That's
probably
16
averaging
balls.
8 rebounds, 5 assists, couple steals. He's just a presence on the floor, which you can't put a figure on.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was probably the difference in the game.
So,
And again, like I said, they get another shot at him.
They do.
So
Potentially
Hampton's got
two
a
more.
target on their back. Yeah,
Potentially 2 more.
2 or 4.
You could be correct. You could end up playing them 4 times this
Could,
year.
that could be the thorn in
I
each
can-
other's side.
can hardly wait for that. Already.
Well, either way, if you're looking at a split between the two, you'd have to almost say that's a win.
Yeah.
If they play 4 times in 2 and 2, unless it's the one that knocks you out of the tournament.
Yeah, it's hard to play somebody 3, 4, 5 times
It is.
in a season. It's hard to play. It is. It's just hard to play when you play people over and over and over again, and it gets more and more difficult. So you got to change your strategy. You got to change your practice. You got to change who's shooting the ball and all those things. So it's hard. It's hard to play people.
Well, I told Coach Hosey the other night that I rarely drink a Dr. Pepper on the way to the ball game. But every time I drink a Dr. Pepper on the way to the ball game, he wins.
Where were you at last night?
That's what he said. He told me just keep on drinking Dr. Pepper.
That's right. That's right.
So
There you
maybe
go.
y'all take the blame for the football and I'll get the basketball.
Okay.
You heard that, Terry. Sean got it. Mark's taking it.
Well, let's circle back to the girls a little bit. I just want to go ahead and talk about them one more time about how impressive that is. So far, I think we won't talk about the record
Okay.
because if we start talking numbers,
Don't talk numbers.
then we're sure to jinx something.
I taught
But
English, not math.
the fact that we're over 2 years into the new realignment and they still haven't lost a game yet is impressive. 2-time defending champions, and you come into this game with a Final Four team from Class 1A last year. They got their first taste of action this past Tuesday and knocked off Chucky Doak down here in Lower Afton. Now they travel and go into South Green, which we just talked about, a very, very good environment for South Green to play in. For a visiting team, not so much.
No.
They played there last year. That was one of the best games that South Green had last year. That one came down to the wire, came down to the last play of the game. Hampton comes in this time, I think still expecting that a little bit. And credit to South Green, credit to Coach Greg, credit to Coach Mark Wright. They had everybody ready, and they were able to come out with a win. How important of a win do you think that is for South Green going forward to get that one at home over Hampton?
I think it was huge. I kind of have some back information there, but I heard from a little bird that we used some of Hampton's plays last night to play against Hampton, which was pretty. And I think for the girls, it was a huge, just a huge boost in their confidence. I can't imagine coming into South Green and playing there from an opposing team. I can't imagine. Number one, you got the whole wall lined with state championship. You walk in the door, there's gold balls, and that in and of itself has to be a mind game, I think. It's like, have you
Never
ever
thought of it that way.
Oh my goodness, and I'm in there sometimes, by myself, just walking across, and I think, man, it has to, even empty, it's a little intimidating. So I'm sure we've been playing Hampton for years and years and years, and I'm sure that's intimidating.
Now
'cause-
it counts.
yeah, now it counts. So
Now it does
it's-
count.
And I look at it from a different way because I've seen these girls play. I've talked to the coach, and I kind of read into it a little different, I think. But I think last night was just another game, just another win. They had that mentality that like, we don't care who you are. Come on, you coming in our house, you're leaving.
That's right.
And I think that's kind of the way their mentality was. And they don't have this like 30-point superstar, but they got on any given night 6 or 7 that can hit double figures.
Yep.
And that's what they use, and then they use that mentality. Well, here we are, come get us. And to me, that's what I see.
It always feels like they have that mentality because you'll talk to Coach Craig sometimes after a 30-point win, and he may not be happy. He may not be happy in the way they play because some of the things they might have been working on, they might not have executed correctly.
Right.
And when it becomes time that they need to execute that correctly in a crucial game, like in a postseason tournament, you need them to be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing like game time experience. Everybody knows that. Sometimes you cannot simulate some of these things in practice. No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you scrimmage. But going back to Tuesday night, South Green getting a sweep of Johnson County, that's something that's always good. Johnson County is a tough place to go play at.
Yes.
So you always want to sweep them at home if you have the opportunity, because if you drop one at home against Johnson County, it's hard to get that back on the road.
Yeah, we won four games. 4 games the other night. So we beat them all 4. I think I don't remember what the JV girls score was. It was a lot, but I think their JV boys only scored 14. And then it was a good night. Good night to be a Rebel.
South Green, it's been a good week to be a Rebel.
It has been a good week to be a
It's been a
Rebel.
good year to be a
It's
Rebel.
actually,
They went to Dobbins Bennett and beat Dobbins Bennett on our home court.
I can't remember the exact amount, but it was close to 40 that they beat Crockett by. Is that correct?
Yes, it was.
Was it 78-39?
78-39, that's it.
That's crazy. They doubled Crockett. You don't hear that often.
But I go back to this thing. If that same team that beat Dobbins Bennett would have played last night, I think we're talking about a different ending.
I mean, I talked about it right at the beginning, some of the marquee wins they've had. You got the Dobbins Bennett win. You beat Crockett by 39, not to mention you beat Dobbins Bennett by 10.
At Dobbins Bennett.
Yes, at Dobbins Bennett. That was a trivia question I asked this week. I'm going to ask it again. If anybody knows, please let me know. I want to know the last time a county team has beaten Dobbins Bennett in basketball.
I don't think they ever have.
I don't know either.
I don't think they ever have.
It's like Coach Hosey said. He heard after the game that one of the radio guys up in Kingsport was asking why are they playing South Green.
Yeah, they did. They asked
They
that
found
before
out
the game.
Yeah, they found out why.
They found that, yeah. That's what they said. That was their exact words, I think, during the pregame. Why is Dobbins Bennett playing South Green? I think they know now.
And Hosey,
Yep.
Coach
One of the
Hosey
best
told me
teams
after the
throughout
ball game,
Eastern
he said
Seaboard.
that was, if not his signature win, it was one of the biggest wins he'd ever
yeah.
had.
I think he went in the locker room and said, "Boys, you want to get noticed. This is the game to win."
Oh,
I think
exactly.
that's. I paraphrased, I'm sure, but that's what he
I
said.
quoted it,
Yeah,
if you wanna go read
I
it
read it.
on
I did
Grassroots.
read it. So I actually wasn't there.
Oh, really?
I was
No.
not
Oh,
there
rare
for that.
occurrence.
I never missed, but yeah, I was at a conference.
Oh, that's
I was
important.
at a well, yeah. So
important.
anyway, I missed that game. So yeah, but it's awesome. I was
Right.
getting updates.
And
about
it was
this
a
30
big
seconds.
win in a big environment on the big stage. It had all the hype, not really a David versus Goliath, but they had a mountain to climb, and they did.
Looking at it on paper, that's what it looked like.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're seeing Dobbins Bennett Kingsport High School.
Well,
and then you're
Dobbins
seeing
Bennett
South
has
Green.
more high school basketball wins than any team in the history of the United States.
Right, yep,
Wow.
read that too. It's crazy.
And little old 525 students of South Grade goes up there and beats them by 10.
Good day.
Yep.
Almost
very good.
almost a Hoosiers.
I guess
like
so.
it.
Yeah.
Like a good sports movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the best basketball.
Let's make a movie out of it.
All right.
Who's going to play you?
I don't know.
Oh.
If you
Lori wasn't there, so nobody's playing her.
if you had to get an actor to play you in a movie, who would it be? That's a tough question.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. Okay. I don't know. People have asked me that, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think I have a celebrity lookalike.
Well, I don't have a lookalike. I
No,
just all
it's-
wanted to play me.
Okay. I get
Or
that.
Denzel Washington, maybe.
Ooh,
I get that.
I get that. I get
Denzel's
that.
good.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Best
I like
voice
it.
ever, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan,
Yes.
for sure.
I'm glad we can all agree on
Absolutely,
that.
for sure. My mama would argue, though. She loves Kevin Costner.
James Earl Jones.
Kevin Costner's
My mom
good.
loves Kevin
Kevin
Costner.
He's okay.
Kevin
Yeah.
Costner is
Her
good.
her favorite movie is Dances with Wolves. So
That's
yeah.
a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah, she would say Kevin Costner for she loves him. I don't know what female I would pick. I don't know. Sandra Bullock's funny.
Sandra Bullock's good.
But she's real tall and I'm not. So
She is tall.
she's really tall.
She's
yeah.
very tall.
Is she? I don't.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Because she was in The Blind Side, and I don't
Yeah.
know if she was in heels or not, but
More
she's
than
just as
likely.
tall as Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
Well, he's
she's-
maybe kind of short too, though.
You think so?
I don't know.
I've never stood beside Tim McGraw. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
just
know
assume
either.
He's always in boots too, so.
Yeah. We'll ask Alexa when we get home.
All right. Tell us what's on the menu for South Green coming up now.
This week we play at University High Tuesday, play at Granger Friday. So two road games. So none of them obviously at South Green. So we could practice, finishing up semester test, end of course testing, Christmas break, FCC's feeding breakfast Friday morning. So my teachers will be super thrilled about that. You know, just finishing up strong. We've had a great semester at South Green. Lots of good things are keeping me hopping, from FFA to art shows to basketball to football. I mean, bowling. We've done it all. Feels like it's been a quick semester, but a good semester. Have both my kids at South Green now, so
that's better.
My life is so much easier. So we're there from sun up to sundown. But it's been really good. So good semester, ready for a good year. It just seems like it flies by.
Yeah.
Feels like I was, basketball season, and then, it'll be baseball and softball soon.
But you got a tough week ahead.
We do have a tough week ahead. We're going to University High. It's a hard place to play.
Yeah.
It just is. It's a big gym. It's hard to play. Do have good popcorn there.
They do.
They do
have some
good
of the
popcorn.
best.
So
University High.
I think they may win. And they've had this is crazy that I know this, but they've had a long strand of good popcorn popping at University High. Yeah, they do. I think it's because they use ETSU's. They don't have just a mom pop concession stand. Like, they use what ETSU uses, so that's pretty cool. And then it's always hard to go to Granger and play.
Yep,
it is.
I mean, it is intimidating. Their gym is big. It's just
And their fan base.
Their student section is great.
They are the sixth man on the court.
Yeah.
Crockett
really
and
are.
Granger have two great student sections that make a difference in the game. So, yeah, it's a hard place to go play, but
Good news is both of them are non-conference.
they are non-conference.
And then after those, you go into the Big H Barbecue Bash. Won that tournament last year.
We did win that tournament.
Always a good tournament.
It'd
a
be
fun
great
tournament
to
play
win.
at.
Yeah, it'd be great to win the Hardees, the Big H,
boy, wouldn't that
and
be
the
something?
Ladies Classic. Wouldn't that be
Wouldn't that
awesome?
be
That would be awesome.
Be sweet.
Regular season sweep.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. So.
We won't jinx it and talk about.
No, don't
those.
jinx it. Yeah.
One thing I would like for you to talk about a little bit, if you know anything about it, is to try to help everybody else, is the eligibility thing. We've touched on this before. We see a lot of kids transferring from school to school. What is the actual rule on that?
Listen, it gets so confusing, and when I have phone calls, I'm like, hold on and let me get Coach Jose. And TSSAA muddies the water constantly. Pretty much if you play in a varsity competition, you can't play for a year. You can transfer.
Regardless.
You can, yeah.
Even if your
regardless.
family moves.
If your family moves, that's different. If you move into a zone, then you can. But if you don't physically move, you cannot play for a year.
In this county or any other county, you could take a kid from Knoxville, and they could be eligible to play right away
As
if
if
they
they
did not move.
No.
Or if they did not play last year.
Yes. Yes.
Regardless if he moved or not. He could drive back and forth from
Yeah,
Knoxville.
they could do that. It's
And I
crazy.
heard this week too in the TSSAA meetings that there was a potential chance that you could talk about a one-time transfer.
Yes, that's, yeah. We,
Heard that
So,
was a
so we got
discussion.
our high school transfer.
yeah, James and Kyle and us. And,
Potentially.
Yeah, we were at the regional meeting at Hardin Valley. I lost 3 or 4 weeks ago, probably 3 weeks ago, and that was one of the things. And the TSSAA is proposing, and then they actually had a legislative council meeting this week. I got an email, so they've not made a decision on that, but it's gotten, COVID, don't say the COVID word, but it got crazy after COVID. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
look
did.
at college. Look what it's done to college. I mean, we've got kids playing college ball for 6 years. I mean, literally 6 years. So it's crazy. It's crazy, and I don't know how much it'll affect us, but it'll affect some people.
Well, I
if
kind of
they
agree with
adopt
those
that.
college kids getting that extra year of eligibility
Yeah.
because of COVID. And here we are, talking about it 2 years later or 3 years later.
3 years
But
later.
college career is 4 years, and so we're still within inside that window. So I understand that, because a lot of kids didn't get noticed. They didn't get to play in high school their senior year. They didn't get to play at all in their college freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. I agree with that one.
And I don't think, but if we go back, we played every basketball and every football game the year of COVID. We didn't miss any for COVID. Like we didn't miss any.
You
which
didn't
is-
have a
Wow,
COVID.
you were fortunate.
I know.
You were fortunate. I
Right,
think I
because
talked about
not
that.
only you didn't
Yeah.
take one,
Yeah.
that your opponent didn't have to cancel on
No.
you.
I think I talked about that with Coach Jones this year,
Yes.
that you were the only county team to do that, because I still remember vividly 3 years ago the West Green Chucky Dope game had to get canceled. And as you remember, that was the last game of the season.
It was.
So some of those seniors, they didn't get a chance to play their final games. South Green was fortunate enough they played 10 games that year.
We did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we did. We played. I mean, and basketball too. You know, we obviously had a lower number in the gym, but we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't. We were lucky. We were blessed. It was good. But it sure is good to see that gym full again.
It
to
is.
see the people. And
It's good to see them all full.
Yeah.
It really is.
it is, and it's great to see our fans that are older be back. Just to look up in the stands and see, to see those people back is amazing. To see them and have them in the gym.
What I've noticed is I'm looking at a game, I've been watching a South Green game or West Green game or Chucky Dope game, and probably about a third of the fan base is watching another game on their phone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome too.
It is.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
too.
that helped. I mean, that's what grassroots have done to this county. You
Absolutely.
know, that you can watch 2 games at once.
Well, especially if it's another county game.
Yes.
West Green and Chucky Dope, especially because they might have conference implications.
Yeah, we love grassroots. We love. I know even my parents. They travel. They like to camp, and they are so thankful that they can pull it up and watch and see. And we love it. We love having that. Love having that connection. Love having you guys around. All of you. Love having you around. Love having you in our building. And my secretary just says, "Hey, Tyler." Now she don't even. Yeah.
Just lets me walk in.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
still sign in because
Still
that's
sign in
always what you have to do.
I
but-
think that's a rule.
Yep,
That is the rule.
That is the rule.
Yeah,
All
we
that
don't break
sign in.
rules. Got to follow the rules. But yeah, we love having you guys around. We're very thankful. Y'all are good people. Good times. So
Well, we appreciate that.
yeah. No
I
problem.
guess I'll see you this week. But
You
that's all
coming?
we got. I'll be coming. We'll see if Coach Hosey or Coach Greg will let you on the show now.
You think?
We'll see how you did.
Okay, we'll see how I did. I
This
don't
is
know.
your trial.
Sean won't let me in. Sean don't let me. But Sean doesn't wear shoes in his interview, and you all let him.
Oh, he
so
doesn't.
Don't wear shoes.
he never
He
wears
does.
the shoes. He has to zoom out. Yeah. So
There's one.
I don't know.
Is that a
Coach
normal
Hawk would
thing?
let me on.
Coach
Hawk would
would,
let
yes.
me on.
Coach Hawk would.
And I
Coach
think,
Ramsey
I think
probably
Coach
would,
Ramsey
yeah.
would let me.
He would.
I don't know. I don't know about Coach Hosey because he's like, what is she gonna say? Like what is she gonna say? Stephen might.
Stephen might let you have the interview for a week.
Yeah, Stephen's quiet. I'm not quiet, but
But
I don't know.
he's always the same thing after a win or a loss or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got the same demeanor. He looks like Jalen Hurd of the girls soft basketball league. It doesn't change.
Right. Tyler and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I don't even remember when. I think maybe the beginning of basketball season. I think we need to do all of
Oh,
them.
yes, the panel.
I think we need to have the panel.
The
But you've
panel.
got to let me and Mr. Cutshaw in too.
Okay.
Like you've got, and actually Jody.
We will have,
I
was
think
about to
Jody
say, we will
too.
have a few non-coaches in too, because I think
Yeah.
that would be a great
And my
video.
cheerleading coaches, yeah, it would be great. I mean, like it would
Have
literally.
everybody on the stage.
Yes, and
And have the
have.
cheerleaders out there cheering you on and everything. Just to make a big day
My
out of it.
cheerleaders are real loud. They're real good.
That's
so
good.
yeah. But I'm serious. I think you should
I think that would be
have
awesome.
an entire panel. But I also think you should do that. Like get Sam and James to do that too. And,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think that would be interesting. You should be at a South Green coaches meeting when Coach Hosey has them all together. It's fun times.
Is that goal still in mind if we do it?
What do you mean? Which goal?
I can't say it on air.
Maybe.
This must be some kind of secret.
It is a secret.
it
I'm
is a secret.
thinking, yeah. It's all right. Yeah.
We'll let you know when we hit the
Yeah,
commercial
we'll let
break right
you
here,
know.
but we do need to get a commercial break in. Lori, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Hopefully we
Thank
get you
you
on
for
again.
finally letting me come.
As always,
Yeah.
we'll
Fun
have, to
times.
see, we'll have to see which coach now lets you on first.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to sweeten the pot. Give them I don't
No,
know.
hold it. Aren't you their boss?
I am their boss.
Oh, there you go. You're on the show.
It is true.
There's a crazy dynamic too because all of those people I either grew up with in church or we went to school together or it's crazy dynamic. So.
Well, so you can say, most of the time I'm your friend, but right now I'm your boss.
That's right.
I'm going on that show.
I have to pull the boss card with Sean
Every
now
once in a
and
while,
then.
yeah.
Every now and then. So there you go. It works. We got to get Mr. Hartman. We can't forget the golf coach.
Yes.
Like we have to. Yeah. We need to make this happen.
We'll have
We get a
everybody out
sponsor.
there.
We get a sponsor.
We could.
We need a sponsor.
Get Ma and Pa's and get food before.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Or Creekside Pizza.
That's what you told me about the other night.
It's not had Creekside Pizza.
I haven't either.
I don't either. But
I haven't had El Mariachi yet.
I've got a secret in
I don't even know
mind.
what that is.
The Mexican place.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you, but I've got a secret in mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Mark, is there anything else you want to leave off on?
No, Lori's been most helpful.
We need to jump into the break, though. Lori, once again, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We'll hit the green teams up next. We'll hit Greeneville and North Green. We need to get a break in first. So we'll be right back after these messages here on Grassroots Media.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greeneville, Tennessee.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greeneville.
Tommy's Plumbing has provided professional plumbing services to the residents of Greeneville, Tennessee for over 30 years. Our experience and reputation have helped us grow our business to add locations in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Tommy's Plumbing is local and family owned, and we offer a full line of plumbing services, such as kitchen faucet, shower faucets, commodes, and bathroom faucets, as well as drain cleaning. We also provide outside plumbing work, such as septic and sewer drain cleanouts, as well as repair and replace. Tommy's Plumbing pretty much does it all. Tommy's Plumbing is licensed, bonded, and insured. Our quality workmanship and passion to provide our clients with expert service is second to none. We guarantee we have the best warranty around. For all your plumbing needs, give Tommy's a call at 638-3662.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this morning's edition of the Pizza Inn Saturday Morning Tip-Off Show here from Pizza Inn in Greeneville. Once again, I'm your host, Tyler, here with my co-host, Mark Brooks. Let's talk about the green teams.
The green teams.
Talked about the maroon team in the past with South Green. Let's hit Greeneville and North Green this time. Greeneville had a very, very tough opponent walk into Hal Henner Gymnasium.
Yes, they did.
This past Thursday
night. And they walked out
night.
with their heads hanging out.
They did what? They did.
The defending state champions walked out with their heads hanging down.
They did.
They wondering what truck hit them.
Alcoa walked into Greeneville, played a really good game. Javine Carter.
They're the defending state champions.
Yes. Javine Carter, Penn State commit, third-ranked player in the state. I think a lot of eyes were on him. He got his, scored 34 points. Trey Thompson was there to do the exact same. 31 points, over 10 rebounds, double-double performance from the sophomore. Ended up getting a college offer the very next day, too, from Tuscaloosa.
He's got several.
He's gotten several now. I think this is 3 off the top of my head, but enough about that. Let's talk about the game itself and the game that he had that night, too. He came out in the first half, and he really took control. I think he might have had, maybe 12 or 13 first quarter points.
Really?
To push Greeneville out to a very sizable margin, too. And from there on, Greeneville really controlled the game.
And it looked like he got a little tight in the fourth quarter.
It did. Javine Carter came out in the third quarter.
And I've got a friend of mine that's on the campus of Penn State, and he says they can't wait for him to get there.
Oh, well, I'd say so.
He said, because I talked to him Friday, and he said, we can't wait for him to show up. Because they need a guard at Penn State, and you got a 6'2" guy, 185, 190 pounds, shoot lights out of it. That's what they need. He said, that's what we're waiting on. And I said, well, he got his points, but
Greeneville got the win.
Greeneville got the win.
He came out in the third quarter. He had 12 points right away, 3 3-pointers.
Ooh.
Brought Alcoa right back in it. Alcoa took a short-lived lead before Greeneville took it back, and then Greeneville controlled the game the rest of the way. I was very proud of how the Green Devils played, too, because it wasn't back and forth. Once Greeneville took that early lead in the first quarter, they really controlled it from there on out. And that's really impressive to do to a defending state champion like that.
Yes.
Because when you defeat a defending state champion at home, sometimes you might have to come from behind.
I think
It might be a
Greeneville went down
back-and-forth
there
battle.
last year
Did they?
in Alcoa. I'm not sure how it turned out, but I don't know if Alcoa, if they have to go back this year or not.
I'd have to look. I don't know
I'd
if
have
it's
to
a
look.
home and
I'm
away
not-
or not, or if it's just a one-date
I'm-
schedule.
I'm not sure, but that was definitely a big win for the Green Devils coming out like that. And can't forget Hayden Goad.
24 points.
24 points.
He had another hot shooting night.
And he can do that. He's streaky. He's one of these guys that used to come off the bench and pop 10 or 12 points on you in a hurry, and really either set you up for the big comeback or set you up for the big lead.
Yeah.
And everybody needs a player like that.
I think with the performance that you saw from him and the performance that you saw from the team the other night, I think Greeneville might be the team to keep an eye on for the remaining month of this year, because you're getting your football guys back in shape.
Right,
You're getting
right.
a win over the defending state champions. They're starting to get into that rhythm that they need to get in to be a very, very big threat within their classification.
Well, there's a difference in football
Yes.
shape and basketball shape. And a lot of what you see when you're going from football shape to basketball shape is cramps. And, these kids are 15, 16, 18 years old, and it's really hard for them to understand that you need to drink a lot of Gatorade, you need to drink a lot of water, you need to drink a lot of Kool-Aid, you need to drink a lot of milk, whatever you can get in your body to drink. Eat watermelon, eat cantaloupe, eat your vegetables. Everybody has trouble with that with their children, but that's what gets them from football shape to basketball shape. And there's a big difference in there. And usually you see a team like Greeneville that has 5 or 6, 7 guys that play football. You'll see that transformation hit about midway through the year.
Yeah.
Because they've been in football for the first half, and then you'll see that transformation hit, and that's usually when the team hits their stride.
And they've
That's
got the
what we'll
Arby's
see.
Classic coming up at the end of the month too. That's a date to look forward to, as always.
It is, because they always play a top team in the country. Sometimes they come away with a win. The last couple of years, they've come away with a win over a top team in the country, and that's got to be something emphasis on your program. Because not only you're looking at it, coaches looking at it, kids is looking at it, the middle school kids are looking at it. Other teams in the area are looking at it and saying, "Boy, that Greeneville team, man, we got to play them Friday night. This is going to be rough."
Yeah.
And so, going to Arby's and playing really means a lot more than just meets the eye.
And I know earlier in the South Green portion, I talked about there's 2 teams in particular that South Green could potentially face that Greeneville is playing on their regular season schedules this year, and one being Alcoa. I know that's the team
They could beat
that
them. Yep.
won the regional championship last year, and the team that ended South Green's season is Gatlinburg Pittman,
Yep.
who travels down here to play in Hal Henner Gymnasium next Monday night, 9 days away.
They'll give Coach Ozzie a free audition, I
Yep.
guess.
And South Green usually doesn't play on Monday nights, so there's a good possibility you could see him down there.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's one of the better teams.
And Gatlinburg Pittman team's a pretty doggone good team.
That's
I've
what
seen
I'm
them
talking
play.
about,
That's a pretty doggone good team now.
They've got Ty Glassford, just scored 60 points in a game.
Yeah,
They've got 2 D1 Power 5 wide receiver commits playing
football
basketball.
commits, but they're
Yes.
playing basketball, so if they're wide receivers, same thing's power forward.
Yeah. And you saw it last year.
Yeah.
They can
Oh, yeah.
rebound.
Oh, yeah.
They can rebound. That's going to be a tough test for Greeneville coming up. Them and Alcoa always have really good games. There was a game last year that came down to the final shot where there was some controversy whether his foot was on the line, whether his foot wasn't on the line. Alcoa ended up winning that game by 1 because his foot was on the line on that final 3 that went through the buzzer from Glasper. And outside of that, I think Alcoa ended up taking the other 2 pretty convincingly, but it's a new year.
It's a new year.
You never know.
Anything happens.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, it wasn't a conference game for Greeneville, but it's a confidence builder. The teams that are coming in from conference, and I think Gatlinburg Pittman is in that conference this year, right?
Which one?
With Greeneville.
No, they're still in 2A
Are they still in 2A?
Yeah.
Are they?
with
Okay.
South Green, or
Okay.
with Alcoa
Yeah,
in the same
they are.
region.
Yeah, they're in the same conference in football.
Yes.
But yeah, see that all that stuff.
Football does confuse.
Still,
Yeah.
it was confusing. We should have asked Lori about that when we had
They're
her
in the
here.
same one with Chucky Doak. Actually.
Yeah.
It's weird. It is weird. But the Greeneville girls, too. They had a very, very tight game with Alcoa come down to the wire. They ended up losing on a last-second shot. I think it was with .8 seconds to go. They hit a little putback in the post with a foul added on. She missed the free throw, I think, on purpose, so they wouldn't have time
Well, that's the smart
to call a timeout
play.
and set something up.
That
but
is the smart play.
they ended up getting beat on the last-second shot. I think it was one of those where Alcoa was just fortunate to have a girl that was much bigger than everybody else down there in the post to grab that rebound. Outside of that, it was another situation like the boys' game. Greeneville really controlled the game up until that point, too. The second half that I saw, Greeneville did a really good job controlling Alcoa, who is potentially a state tournament team also.
I've seen a lot of these last-second shots here lately. Seen one over at West Green with North Green,
North Green,
South Green,
girls,
North South Green girls. I'm seeing a lot of these, and that just shows our level of competition in this area anymore. It's, who's got the ball last.
Yeah. And then you've got Gatlinburg-Pittman girls coming in to play Greeneville, too. That's potentially a more interesting matchup than the Gatlinburg-Pittman boys playing Greeneville boys, because the Gatlinburg-Pittman girls, from what I know, they've at least made a trip to the state tournament the last 2 seasons. Could potentially be more. Maddie Newman was, I can't remember if she won Miss Basketball last year, but I know she was a Miss Basketball finalist. And then you've got them coming in here to play Greeneville. It's a great early season test. You get Alcoa before that, Science Hill. You've had really good opponents before that too. So to get Gatlinburg-Pittman before Christmas, before you get into the thick of your conference schedule, that's tough scheduling.
Well, we've always talked about this, that Greeneville doesn't dodge anybody.
No,
they
they
go
don't.
to Dobbins-Bennett, Science Hill, the Arby's Classics. In football, they're playing Oak Ridge, and they don't dodge anybody. So they want to play with bigger teams, better teams, and get better. Well, now you're seeing Gatlinburg-Pittman's coming in here and playing. They're wanting to get better. So who do they look to? They look to play in the Greeneville.
Yep.
They want to play the Greeneville to get better. So that puts Greeneville in this upper tier.
Yep. And outside of that, I don't know who they played before then. I'd have to check the schedule, but Greenville's had a pretty good stretch up to this point, too. I think you saw both teams kind of struggle in the early portions. Greeneville got their football
Well, they
players
got their
back
football
now.
players back.
They're starting to get in a rhythm now. The girls are starting to get into that rhythm, too, after having a slow start to the season. So you could see them both pick up some steam going into Christmas break here.
Correct.
Talking about the other Green team also, I know you were there last night for North Green's games against Cosby.
North Green games was
Very important games.
very important game.
Not conference games, because they're not in the same district, but they're in the opposite regions.
Right.
They could end up facing
there's a
each other
history
later on.
between the two teams.
There is.
There's a history that goes back to the 80s, I guess.
It's kind of like a non-conference rivalry,
Yeah.
because they used to play
Yeah.
all the time. Now they still do, but there's not conference implications on the line. They're non-district opponents within the same region. So that means you could potentially see them again down the road when it matters most, when elimination is on the line.
Well, the girls' game had, of course, North Green's only got 9 to start with. And they got one girl that's not eligible to play yet, as we talked with Lori about earlier. Had one girl that's got the flu. So that puts him down to 7. Then he had another girl that just moments before the game, that the trainer ruled her and said she's not medically cleared to play. So there's James Buchanan was like, I got 6 ball players. What am I going to do? After looking at the game, I see what he did. He ran, trying to build this lead because he knew they were going to give out in the fourth quarter. And he kind of worked because they were ahead 20-2 at the end of the first quarter. And just like I don't know if I had a premonition or what, but here come the Cosby Eagle girls back, and they cut it to, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10, because they got some ball players, but it just wasn't enough, and hats off to Buchanan. That was with 6 ball players playing a team that's got one of the hottest shooters in the Shelton girl in East Tennessee right now. He coached a perfect game. He did. He coached a perfect game. He had 6 ball players, and he knew exactly how to pace them out to where they wouldn't wear out or foul out. Hats off to you, Coach.
Talk about the boys' game a little bit also.
Boys' game, it was the night that Jason Britton was being honored because it was his first home game since he set the Greene County scoring record. I'm not sure of that, but they had him. They honored him with the new basketball. You know, they had the points on it, and the coach was there and everything. And it was a big moment for Jason, I'm sure. But the bigger moment was he added 33 points to that total.
Wow.
He wasn't exactly on fire, but in the first half he was doing just enough to keep his team ahead, and they built a pretty good size lead, 12, 14 points most of the game. I can't pronounce this name. The big kid, Sarah.
Carrico.
Carrico. That's I keep wanting to call it Serico,
yeah,
but it's Carrico. Carrico. He was on fire. He hit some big threes outside.
That's good to see from him.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good sized kid too. You know, you would think, and they fools a lot of people because you're thinking he's going to be inside playing low.
Yeah.
Well, now he'll step out behind the arc and make you pay, and he did. So he was a big force to be reckoned with last night. And then they had a couple of little insignificant, crazy calls that went on. But what it did, it took North Green out of their rhythm because it was kind of like a dead period there.
Yeah.
And it really just took North Green out of their rhythm. But it didn't affect Cosby. Cosby kind of got hot. Got some lucky baskets, got some, ball bounced their way a couple of times, which you're going to get in a basketball game.
Yeah.
You're going to get balls that bounce your way, and you're going to get balls that don't bounce your way. And everything seemed to work for them, I guess, late in the third quarter.
That's when you don't want it to happen.
Exactly, when you don't want it to happen.
Yeah, you'd rather happen early.
Yeah, and but then Jason Britton come out. And did I mention he was a Mr. Basketball finalist?
You hadn't today. We've mentioned it before.
Okay. He showed why. I think it was 6, maybe 7 trips down the court that he scored. And 3 of them looked like identical plays. I mean, he lined up on the left baseline, just drove to the bucket, easy layup. Baseline, bucket. Baseline, bucket. And it was like, are they not going to catch on to this?
Yeah.
Or is he just beating them that bad? And it's kind of both, because I don't know if you've ever watched Jason Britton play, which I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
His motor runs constantly. I have never seen a kid run that much.
I talked about it recently. I can't remember when I talked about it. I might not have even talked about it on air, but whoever's guarding him has the toughest challenge.
Oh.
Because he never stops running.
No. And
it wears you out on offense.
To his conditioning. Yeah. And late in the fourth quarter or early in the fourth quarter, when everybody else is tired, he's
going.
fresh.
Yep.
He's still going.
It hurts whoever's defending him on offense too, because you use so much energy on defense that you don't have it on offense.
And if you'll go back in Jason Britton's history of his basketball career at North Green, I don't know if I'd put my house on it, but if I had a boat, I'd probably bet the boat that most of his points are scored in the second half.
Think?
Yes, I would think most of his points are scored in the second half. He scores more in the second half than he does the first half because he wears everybody out.
Yeah.
So if you hold him, if you think you've done something, you held him to 12 points in the first half, look out.
He's going to get his.
Yeah, he's going to get his. And the kid just runs 24/7. I can't get over it. I was just amazed last night that at the end of the game, he was still looking fresh, and everybody else was sucking wind.
Yep. If you have film on him and you try to watch him, it is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Because they always run something through him at all times.
And a lot of times, and Tate and I talked about this one day, is he's trying to let the other teams figure him out. When other teams, and he doesn't get started as early because teams are doing something, and he has to figure out what they're doing. And then he runs away from them, and, by the end of the game, there he is. He's got 33 points, where he scored 13 in the first half. I think he scores more in the second half than he does the first half.
That's interesting. I'd like to see if we can
I'd like to see if we can get a stat on that.
Yeah. I'm sure Coach Tarleton always has his hands tied and doesn't have the time to do that, but it'd be awesome if we could find...
He's got a student assistant that could probably figure that out.
It would be awesome if we could go back and try to find all the film and see if we could figure out... Or just look at the
books.
Yeah, look at the books, yeah. We could look at the books to try to figure that out, too. But it'd be fun watching just an hour or two of film on him, too.
Oh, yeah.
Just how much he runs on offense.
It makes me tired just watching him.
Yeah. But North Green, big win over Cosby, both boys and girls. Big wins over Cherokee to start the week also on Tuesday.
And those are, Cherokee's what, a 4A school?
3A.
Are they 3A?
Yeah.
And here we go back to this alignment.
Yeah,
2A, 3A, 4A.
It's hard going.
Basketball, they only go 4A, and football, they go 6.
6A,
right?
yes. It's weird.
It ought to be the same all across the board.
I think as of right now, both the boys and girls have won 4 out of their last 5. The only ones that they've dropped have been to South Green.
Yeah.
I think that was the Saturday night game.
It was.
So they've won 4 of their last 5.
The girls was a buzzer beater.
Yep. Before that, North Green girls won on a buzzer beater against West Green.
West Green, yeah, the buzzer beater.
So after these Thanksgiving tournaments, you're starting to see North Green start to click a little bit.
Yep.
Thanksgiving tournaments are always hard. I know the girls dropped all 3 by single digit. I think they were all 1-possession games. And then the boys ended up finishing, I can't remember where they finished in the Hardy's Classic, maybe 4th. I know they beat Boone, and I think they lost their 2 after that. So
I think
they're both starting to pick up steam now.
One of
after
those
the
was a
Thanksgiving
buzzer
tournaments.
beater.
Yep. You've seen a lot of buzzer beaters.
There's a lot of buzzer beaters this year.
But we need to go ahead and take a break. We've got 2 more teams to cover on the last half. We'll hit Chucky Doak. We'll hit West Green. We'll talk about that right after this break for the final portion of this video here on Grassroots Media.
Bayleton Drug Company services the surrounding communities of Bayleton with excellent patient care using a full-line pharmacy, over-the-counter selections, and a convenient drive-thru. When you visit us, you are treated as a neighbor, not a number. It's not just our slogan, but our culture. We're investing in our patients, local schools, and community. For over 5 years now, we have established ourselves as an independently family-run pharmacy that isn't driven by corporate goals. We are driven by what is best for your overall health and wellness. We're conveniently located so you don't have to make the drive. Prescription drugs are just the tip of the iceberg. We also offer natural remedies, essential oils, at-home medical needs such as walkers, rollators, bath accessories, as well as wound care products. And coming soon, basic urgent care services. What makes us better than other drugstores out there? When you frequent Bayleton Drug, you will receive professional, courteous, and friendly service that goes above and beyond any other pharmacy in the area. Remember, you're a neighbor, not a number.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts. The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Bayleton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Bayleton.
My name is Robert Starnes. I'm a lifelong resident of Northern Greene County, where I currently reside here with my wife and 3 children. I was a barber in Greeneville for the last 6 years, but I have recently changed locations to my new shop in Bayleton. It's at 285 Mortis Hollow Lane, Afton. I'm also a proud supporter of North Green Athletics. Come see me for all of your men and boys grooming needs. Go Huskies!
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Saturday Morning Tip-Off Show, live here from Pizza Inn in Greeneville. As always, your host Tyler here with my co-host Mark Brooks. Chucky Doak and West Green, the final 2 teams we've got to cover this week. We're about to get kicked out. It's past the time that they need the party room now, so we got to make these quick.
We got to make this quick.
Chucky Doak, big win. Yeah, well, here's a Dr. Pepper.
Good.
To start the week, ended up beating Hampton. I don't know if there's a much bigger win than that. That might be their best win going down the stretch, because you look at the importance, we've talked about it. Hampton coming into the 2A conference after winning the 1A state championship. First game of the year within the 2A conference, Chucky Doak hands you a loss on the road. It's not at home, which would have been, I think, more significant, which Chucky Doak still has an opportunity to do later on in the season. But the fact that they get a win over Hampton to start their conference slate and start out 1-0 is huge. Not to mention they go down to Happy Valley. Still won on the road last night to go 2-0 with Hampton knocking off South Green. Chucky Doak is now the only remaining unbeaten team through 2 games. They sit alone at first place at 2-0. It's got to be a great feeling for Coach Broyles after this week.
Oh, yeah, you know it does. And, Hampton had to walk out of that building, first conference game, after we just won the state title. Oh, crap, what do we do now?
12-point loss, too. Chucky Doak did a really good job.
Yeah, so it wasn't like it was a nip-and-tuck game.
No.
But, the Carter County teams, they have a history of doing that. coming up after the first of the year, coming basically out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they have that history, and I look for that trend to continue. Only thing is West Green, South Green, and Chucky Doak have to contend with that.
Yep. The girls too, they ended up dropping that game to Hampton, and then going into last night, they were without head coach Kyle Donahue, and then they end up getting a win over Happy Valley. So they now sit at 1-1. Important for them to get that win last night too, after dropping that early one to Hampton. But they get that one over Happy Valley. They're now 1-1 within the conference. They're kind of sitting right there. I think third place, South Green 2-0 at the moment, West Green 1-0, and then I think it's Hampton and Chucky Doak at 1-1 within the conference at the moment. Big win for them last night to get back on the right track after that loss to Hampton.
Well, I think that conference, everybody's going to beat everybody. Like I talked about earlier, you know, Hampton beats South Green, Chucky Doak beats Hampton. Now South Green's going to come back and they're going to beat West Green or Chucky Doak or Hampton.
The big one, as
again.
always, we talked about is in the first half with Dr. Will Hoyt is, can South Green continue to go undefeated? Chucky Doak's getting better, and you know Hampton's getting better. They beat Hampton by 25 at home last night, but that's going to be the huge storyline going forward. Can anybody top South Green? If Chucky Doak can get on the right track, and if they can have a game like they had against Hampton at home last year, I think it's entirely possible that they do contend and have a really competitive game and put South Green on their toes.
Oh, yeah. You remember the movie Any Given Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. It's just any given night.
Yep.
Anybody can beat anybody.
That's true.
And we've seen it over the years. We've seen, we see Happy Valley.
Yeah.
Any given.
Go right
night.
into that too.
Yeah.
West Green ended up dropping their first.
And remember
district game.
last year, West Green or South Green leading the conference over at West Green. What was it, a 10-point win?
It was double digits.
Any
loss,
given
yeah.
night.
I think it was that way the year before too, where the only loss Chucky Doak had was against South Green at home, and South Green beat them convincingly. I know last year was on a Jace Roderick buzzer beater, but I think 2 years ago they beat them convincingly too. So you never know going into these games, and that's how it happened at Happy Valley. We talked about 2 years within the new conference realignment, Happy Valley had yet to win a game, and then they knock off West Green, and then it was the complete opposite. Coach Shaw in her coaching career had never won a game at Happy Valley, and she was able to do that this past week.
Right.
And she starts out 1-0 in the conference. It's kind of weird too. West Green doesn't play another conference game until an exact month. I think December 9th, I looked at their schedule last night, is the next time that any of these teams play a district game. So it'll be a long time before the games really matter again. We're going into some non-conference games right here in the last week before you start to get into some Christmas tournaments and some different little non-conference games. I know it's kind of this little weird stretch going into December.
Well, and it usually is,
Yeah.
but it straightens itself out after the first of the
It
year.
does.
And
January is when it really
Yeah.
gets fun because the games
I think
start to
everybody gets
matter.
full of turkey and stuff. What happens?
First 2 months are always weird because you're
It
getting your
is.
football players back, Thanksgiving tournaments.
Well, the real season starts at the first of the year.
You have 1 or 2 district games mixed in with some non-conference games, Christmas tournaments, and then you get into the thick of things once you hit the New Year's. And that's what we'll do. I think January 9th, every team plays another district game from there on out. That's when we'll really figure out who's going to be the best teams going forward. But that's all we've got this week. We're running out of time.